Welcome to Simple Scotch Reviews. Today we have Macallan 12 Sherry Oak. It is a Highland single malt Scotch whiskey bottled at 43% ABV here in the United States. I believe elsewhere it's bottled at 40% ABV. It's natural color and it was aged in exclusively ex-Oloroso sherry casks. Let's take a look. This whiskey is rich fruit right off the bat. Rich plums, prune. There's also a berry note in there. But it's really non-distinct, so maybe like a blackberry, something that's not as distinctive a flavor for berry. Behind the fruit, there is some oak and some spice, like a cinnamon, maybe allspice, nutmeg, but mostly cinnamon. Okay, so the palate of this whiskey, there's two primary layers. The initial palate is going to be that rich fruit, like a plum is still the main word that comes to mind. Sweet plum, and then the second wave kicks in and you get your baking spice, like your warm cinnamon, and the oak shows through. So right away in the beginning of the palate, I don't get much oak, but then once that starts to creep in, it becomes much more present, and the fruit almost takes a backseat once the oak comes in. And then as it fades to the finish, the fruit fades mostly for me. Most of the finish is the oak and oak spice, but also kind of a sweetness with the oak. I almost got like a powdered sugar sweetness with the oak. Just kind of reminded me exactly of powdered sugar. Overall, I think this is a really solid Scotch whiskey. I think it's one that everyone can be proud to have on their bar. I know Macallan gets a bad rap for its pricing at times. I think that the price on this Scotch does push its value like to the limit, but I think that ultimately the price is still within a range that I would recommend buying this whiskey, and I think it won't disappoint, and I think it's another one for beginner Scotch drinkers to explore more flavor profiles. I also want to note some people say buy GlenDronach 12 because it's the same as Macallan 12 and cheaper. Prices vary everywhere, but more on that is that GlenDronach, to me, also a great whiskey. It does not taste like Macallan. Obviously, there's similarities in that it's sherry maturation. GlenDronach uses multiple types of sherry in their 12-year-old, but also it just doesn't have that same oak level and just doesn't taste the same. So to tell someone that they're ridiculous for paying more for Macallan, that's an assumption based off of your taste because you think that GlenDronach tastes just as good, but someone that loves the taste of Macallan might not enjoy GlenDronach as much. I've just seen that put out there a lot, so I wanted to put that kind of on the record that it's not the same. So if someone says Macallan's the same as GlenDronach, it's not. Just want to clear that up. I think both are excellent distilleries, and back to Macallan 12, it's an excellent whiskey and one that I would certainly like to keep stocked on the bar. Thanks for watching.